to another K-pop crochet tutorial. I'm Andy and I run the blog Fangirl on the Go and the crochet Instagram page The Morning Hooker. I realized just now that I've never introduced myself in here, so yeah, hello. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago I posted a picture of this crochet necklace on Instagram. It's a piece which was inspired by what NCT Dream's Jisung wore in the group's Hello Future music video. It turned out to be my most liked post yet, so I really wanted to put out this tutorial so you guys can make it too. Like many of the projects I've posted here before, this one's also pretty easy, so beginners don't have to worry. Let's go! For this project, you will need balls of super fine weight yarn in various colors. We're going to be making flowers, so the more colors, the better. You will also need a 2.5 mm crochet hook or whatever you're comfortable using when working with super fine yarn, then a darning needle, and finally a pair of scissors or a snipper. Once you've got all of those ready, we can start! We'll be making the center of the flower first, so take your yarn and hook and begin with a magic circle. Every crocheter has their own way of making a magic circle, but I do mine by wrapping the yarn twice around my index and middle fingers, forming two lines. Then I take the lower yarn, twist it to the right, and pick up the working yarn to tighten the circle. That's it. Now that you've made your magic circle, work 10 single crochets around it. So, this is your magic circle. Insert your hook like that, then pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Easy, right? Let's make another. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and then pull through both loops. Again, you'll be making a total of 10 of these stitches for this round. I'll see you again once you've made 10. Okay, now that you've worked 10 single crochets into the magic circle, you gotta pull the loose end to actually form the circle. Make sure that you are pulling the right end of the yarn, otherwise you'll be unraveling your work. Take turns tugging the string and shaping the circle like so. Tug it a bit more, and shape it again, and then snip the string right here and pull it through the loops gently, like so. Of course, you have to close the circle, so take a needle, thread the yarn through, just like that, and then look for the second single crochet that you made. Usually it's the most visible stitch, since the first single crochet you made would have been most likely hidden when you tugged the yarn earlier. Take your needle and pass it through the stitch of the second single crochet you made. Then go right back to where your string's from. It's right here. This should form a stitch-like appearance, as you can see. This will be counted as the 10th stitch of the round. To secure the round, simply make 2 knots at the back side of the piece. Gently make the first one, and then make another knot that is tighter than the first, like that. So that's the center of the flower. Moving on to making the petals, take a different colored yarn which you will be joining with round 1. There are so many methods of joining yarn, but this is what I usually do. I insert the hook close to the loose ends so I can stitch over them in the process. I then pull up the new yarn or wiggle it through the tight stitch like this, and then chain 2. That's 1 and 2. like that. Next, we'll be working 4 double crochets in the following stitch. That's yarn over, insert your hook, make sure that you are holding the loose ends in place so you can hide them as you go, like that. Hold it, then pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and again yarn over, pull through last 2 loops. Make another double crochet in the exact same stitch. Again, you'll be working a total of 4 double crochets in this very stitch. Say you're done making all 4 double crochets, you'll be counting the chain 2 as part of the petal, so you have 5 stitches in total, like that. Then make a slip stitch in the following stitch to complete 1 petal. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop again. See that? It kind of looks like a petal now. So we'll be making 4 more. Start with chain 2 again, then work 4 double crochets in the next stitch just like what we did earlier. It's right here. So 4 double crochets into this same stitch. After making 4 double crochets, slip stitch into the next stitch again, right here, to finish another petal. As you can see, we now have 2 petals. You'll be repeating the exact same process for the rest of the round until you have 5 petals in total, okay? Once you've reached the end of the round with 5 petals, make a slip stitch in the very first stitch you made to lock in the round. It's right here. So make a slip stitch there and pull it tightly. Now go to the back side and then pull up a loop, snip the yarn, pull the loose end through, and then tug it downwards to tighten. Then now you've got to weave in the loose ends anywhere in the back side of the flower like so. Since the flowers are really small, you don't have to go through all the stitches in the back side to secure and weave in the loose ends. Passing the yarn through a couple of stitches would be enough. Like this. Snip it, and then you can also cut the remaining loose ends that you've hidden earlier. Just like that. So there. That's your pretty little flower. We're now going to make the necklace part of the project, which is basically a long chain with a lock on both ends, like this. And I will also be teaching you how to attach the flower to the chain. It's super easy, trust me. I originally used black yarn for the necklace, but for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna use a light colored yarn so you can see it clearly. Again, we'll be starting with another magic circle, like this. And then make a single crochet into the magic circle and chain one. This will count as the first stitch of the round. You will then be working 9 double crochets into the magic circle for a total of 10 stitches. Just keep going, and I will be seeing you back here once you've got 10 stitches. Once you've completed all 10 stitches, you can pull the loose end to close and tighten the magic circle like so. And then make a slip stitch into chain one. It's right here. You might want to wiggle it to lock in the round, like so. Once you've made the first lock of the necklace, you have to chain 50. You don't really have to be super wary of the number of chains that you make. You can even customize this according to the size that you want. The length that you want. Once you've made all 50 or whatever you prefer, we're going to start joining the chain with the flowers. So pick up a piece. This is the one that we made earlier. Then you can insert it in any of the stitches in the back side of the flower. Just make a slip stitch like that. Then insert it through the loop of the chain, like so. After that, make 3 chains. It's 1, then 2, and 3. And then you just have to connect it to stitches at the other end of the flower's backside. We're going to make another slip stitch. Just pull it through all the loops, like that. Now for the distance between flowers, it's really up to you, but for me, I use 10 chains. Oopsie. So there, I've made 10 chains, and I can join another flower to the chain. I pick this red one. So again, on the back side, choose a stitch. I usually use 2 backside stitches, and then make a slip stitch, and again 3 chains, and then connect it to the other end of the back side of the flower. See, that's too broad. Okay, like that. And then I'll just continue on making more chains to connect another flower for the next. This length and distance is okay with me, but remember you can make it really short or as long as you want. It's really up to you. So just make more flowers and then you can just join them as you go. Now that I've connected 5 flowers onto the chain, you can make 50 chains again for the other end. Of course, it won't be complete without the other end of the lock, so we're going to make that loop. After chaining 50, just make 8 more chains. So that's a total of 58 on the other end. Like that, and then go back to the 50th chain that you've made. Let's count. So it's that stitch right there, and just insert your hook through the chain stitches and make a slip stitch right there to make the loop. This will serve as the other end of the lock of your necklace. After that, you can cut the yarn, pull the loose end through, and of course you have to weave in that loose end to make it look nice and neat. You might want to go over the stitches to, I don't know, maybe strengthen this part of the necklace that you've made. Just going through each of the chain stitches here. That. And then you can finally cut that yarn. Of course, the other end also has a loose end, so you also have to weave it in. Usually do it around the circle, but it's really up to you if you want to do it over the stitches or also around the base of each stitch round. There's your lock. So you just have to put that circle through the other loop, secure it when you're gonna wear it. So yeah. So this step is super optional. You don't have to do it if you don't have enough time or more patience to do more steps. But if you want a clean finish for your necklace and if you want to make it reversible, you can sew two pieces together. That way you can also hide the back side of the necklace. You just really have to whip stitch two pieces together, like the top stitches of both flowers. Make sure they're aligned properly and you don't miss a stitch because you want them to look really nice and neat. You just really have to keep going this way for the rest of the round, okay? Once you've finished sewing two pieces together, make one last whip stitch before cutting the yarn. You can secure the two ends with a couple of tight knots. I usually work a square knot, then just add another for good measure. Then I take both loose ends through a needle so that I can pass it between the flowers to hide before snipping. Just like this. I make sure that two loose ends have the same length, so I cut it, and then I pass the needle between the two pieces. Just like that. And finally, I cut both loose ends to finish the reversible flower. So as you can see, the two pieces sewn together look nicer and appears to have more weight than just one piece joined to the chain. Thanks again for joining me for another K-pop crochet tutorial. If you're gonna give this project a go, please tag me to your finished work. I'd love to see what you made. The link to the Morning Hooker's Instagram page is in the description below. Till the next tutorial, see ya!